What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and I know there's been a lot of negative news going around when it comes to the coronavirus, how it's affecting everyone's business, how it's affecting rents, how it's affecting the real estate market. And so I wanted to just come and report and let you know how I did this last month in collecting rents and some of the things that we did to kind of mitigate our losses and how I was able to turn this last month into the best grossing month that I've ever had in my real estate investing career, even though we've gotten smacked with this virus. So I'm gonna talk about all of those things and some of the things I've done to protect my investments. So with all of that being said, let's jump into it. The first thing that I wanna make sure that I make clear is I don't want this video to come across in the wrong way. I'm not doing this video to come off as boastful or arrogant or any of those things. I know there are a lot of people struggling right now, a lot of businesses that there isn't really a tip or trick to help you with your situation because of this virus. And so I made this video to help real estate investors and share with them kind of the struggles we've been hit with because of the virus, but also how we've been able to tweak or change or evolve to make sure that we not only stay afloat, but thrive during this time. I'm just hoping this video will help other real estate investors to say, you know what, we're gonna make it through this, we're gonna be okay, and also to help you see whatever I'm doing that's working so that you can do it as well. To give you a little bit of background, about 2 to 3 months ago, I purchased a brand new 32 Plex. That put me over 100 doors of rental real estate and life was good. However, I bought this property in a place where it had zero cash flow. It was even negative cash flow, a couple $100s. So I know a lot of you are saying, Chandler, why would you buy that? Well, if you're curious, you can check out this video. But my goal was to raise the rents in every one of those units to where it would be an absolutely killer deal. I think the average rents were between $460 and $500. If you took all of the units at the time, it was just shy of $500. And our goal was to raise rents to average about $775 because we were planning on anyone that stayed, we were gonna raise them to $750. Anyone that left, any new tenants, we were gonna fill at $800. Now, this was a great plan. It was gonna work awesome. However, we got totally smacked with the coronavirus. And I was terrified because I had just purchased this property that had negative cash flow, and it was a very big property that if it was at negative cash flow and it went lower negative cash flow, it could have been a real stressful situation. So I was nervous. So I did a video on what my plan was to try and still be able to collect rents so that I'd be in a good place. I essentially told all my tenants, look, if you pay a week in advance on your rent in full, I'm gonna give you a 5% discount on all rents. Now we're in Idaho, so the virus hadn't hit us super bad yet. It was really starting to hit the exterior of the United States and work in, I felt like. So we were able to get almost everyone to pay rent early, and anyone that didn't, we were able to collect from most of them. There are some people we still weren't able to collect rent from, and that happened, and we're working with them. However, overall, we had almost all of our tenants pay. Now with this 32 Plex, that's really good news because I had just raised rents from $500 to $750 for these tenants and then given them a 5% discount, which still wasn't back down to what their original rent was, but people understood. They'd been getting a killer deal and a lot of them were very grateful that we gave the discount. However, we had a huge chunk of people that before we even knew the coronavirus was going to be as bad as it was, they had left. So I was extremely nervous about where my rents were going to come in at. Now, I've talked in my previous videos about how my break even with my mortgages is around $30,000 with mortgages, taxes, expenses, all of that stuff. It's closer to $35,000. I was very nervous about making sure that I was above break even because I just assumed the worst. I shouldn't say very nervous. I think there was part of me that thought, you know, this isn't gonna be that bad, but we're gonna plan for the worst. Now, something this month happened that was really, really cool and comforting to me. First of all, we had a ton of people leave the 32 Plex. And so I thought, oh crap, we're never gonna be able to fill this. No one's talking to each other, no one's leaving their home, we're toast. I couldn't be more wrong. There still is a huge demand for rentals where I'm living, just as there was a month ago or 2 months ago. As a matter of fact, it almost felt even worse. And that's because if people need a place to live, they need a place to live. The other thing I recognize is a lot of people do essential services, especially in my price range. I mean, when I'm renting to people that are between $500 and $1,000 for a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, I mean, that's kind of the range I stay in on my rents. A lot of these people are in essential jobs. And if they're not, they can replace whatever job they got kicked out of with an essential job because there's still a need for some of those jobs. So I was shocked because so many of our people really didn't have an issue paying. And so they were just excited they were getting a discount by being able to pay early. So it really worked out in our favor. The other thing is we had already had a lot of people that were leaving. And I think it was around 7 or 10 or something like that. But my management company was able to get every one of those units filled, not only at the 750, but at the 800 level, which was a huge benefit. The other thing that worked out to be a big benefit in my favor that I had never considered is because we were filling them right during the coronavirus, we could literally check their employment during the coronavirus. So we could say, look, are you employed? Is your employment in jeopardy? And they've got to say, yeah, I am employed, or you know what? Yeah, it is in jeopardy. As a matter of fact, I just got laid off. And sorry, if someone doesn't have a job right now, we're not going to put them in our units. So not only was I able to fill all of these units at 800, but I was able to fill them with people who still have a job during the coronavirus. So this gives me even more comfort. And so just to be upfront with you, not only did I not just barely clear break even, but we did extremely well. Now, I hesitate to share this because I hope if I have tenants watching it, they won't take it in the wrong light. I'm going to continue to work with my tenants, but you need to understand there are lots of jobs still available. There are lots of ways to make money, and you need to make it a priority to pay your rent, especially if you have a landlord that's willing to say, look, I'm going to give you a discount if you pay early. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to do what's required to help you get through this, because I know for some people it's hard. The reality is we all have jobs. We've all got to find ways to make money to be able to pay our rent. Now, I know there are a lot of people that will disagree with me on this. However, the reality is we're all in a crap situation and we're going to have to work through it. And I'm so grateful that I rent in the area that I do, because everyone's continued to be able to pay rent, and I'm going to continue to be able to work with them. So I hesitate to say this because I'm hoping my tenants don't take it in the wrong way. I've been more than happy to work with them. We're going to continue to work with them. We'll probably do a discount again this month and for future months, as this coronavirus is still hard on people, because we recognize it's a struggle. However, I'm so grateful that people recognize, look, we've got to find a way to make money and still keep our commitments. And that means a lot to me. But because people were willing to keep their commitments, we were able to fill these new leases with people that we knew had jobs. Everything buffed out great. And even though my break even is just over $30,000, we were able to bring in over $46,000 this month in rents. And so it is a huge win. And I share that with you to say, look, continue to work with your tenants, continue to give them a discount for paying in advance, especially as checks are coming in from the government. You want to make sure the first place those checks go is to rent. And you can do that by offering a discount to get them in early. But by doing that, I literally had my biggest month ever because of the raise in rents we had on the 32 Plex, and then executing the strategy we used to be able to get people to pay. If you're a landlord and you're struggling, just remember there's always a way to find people who still have a job to where they can pay rent. There's always going to be a way to work through it. And if you're in a place that is saying no evictions are allowed, I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. If that's where you're at, it's a bummer. However, this isn't going to last forever. And so just remember, you kept reserves. Hopefully you made the right decisions. You're going to make it through, and then you're going to be able to evict people. And hopefully you let your tenants know, look, I know it's a hard time and I'm willing to work with you, but you can't just not pay rent. I see all these people that are, saying, oh, we're all going to not pay rent. What are you going to do to us? Well, here's what they're going to do to you. They're going to evict every one of you. So do your best to pay rent. Talk to your landlord. If you're a landlord, work with people. But I'll tell you right now, this is great news, and I'm excited to report next month to let you know where we're at. But overall, I'm excited where we ended up at. It was an awesome month for real estate investors if you did things right. And if it wasn't, put your comments below. I want to hear what struggles you're running into, and let's try and brainstorm and see what we can do to make sure that you and your real estate portfolio thrive during this time. So with that being said, I know this video was all over the place, but hopefully it gave you an update on my units, on what I'm doing and how it worked out, and I'm hoping it will continue to work out. Again, I hope this video doesn't jinx me next month. However, I really do believe people are going to find a way to make money and to pay their rent, especially if you're willing to work with them. If you enjoyed the video, please push the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the future videos. Thanks guys, have a great day.